do now is I'm going to introduce a couple of videos, and these two videos, the first of which is a warm welcome from our principal and head of service, Aranola Ede, and following that you will have a second video showing our three centres of Westminster Adult Education Service, one being at Lisson Grove, the second at Amberley, which is just off the Harrow Road, and the third is at Pimlico, south of the borough. Okay, so we're just going to wait for the videos to play.
I'm Arinola Ede, the Principal and Head of Service for Westminster Adult Education Service. We are the City Council's main adult education provider, and I'm here to welcome you to our virtual Open Day. Usually we'd be welcoming you physically to our centres, but as with everything else that's changed for us all this year, it's not possible to do that. So we're having to do this virtually. What we have been able to do throughout the last year is adapt our teaching and our learning spaces to ensure that we can support you on your learning journey. And what that means is that you can engage with us either online or face-to-face, depending on what the situation is. And what that means is that we will put in the right level of support for you so that you can achieve your goals. And whether that's learning for pleasure or learning for work, we will ensure that the right support is there for you. But it also means that you get the opportunity to learn about how to keep yourself and your family safe online. I look forward to welcoming you either physically at one of our centres or virtually online. Enjoy the tour.
Thank you very much for that. So I'm going to start today's online open event by sharing some slides about the department and key information. So welcome once again to our Digital Skills Department, which is part of Westminster Adult Education Service. And as a service, we've been rated as good by Ofsted. And in our most recent monitoring visit, we had good to outstanding features as we operated ourselves through the pandemic. By way of introduction, again, for those who have just joined us, my name is Jaspal Dhaliwal, and I'll be co-presenting this with Raymond Hart. And we'll be discussing the Digital Skills Department, what we offer, and what progression routes are in place. By way of a backdrop, our Digital Skills Department includes already our essential digital skills portfolio, and that's in response to nationally the challenge, which is that 17.1 million of the UK workforce lack digital skills, and to meet that, we've got a number of qualifications which are on the user digital skills portfolio in terms of as opposed to practitioner and careers. And today's presentation will be geared around the careers element. The future of work, as we know, we've been in the pandemic, we've had hybrid models of employment where some of us have been working remotely, some of us have been completely, as I said, remotely and or hybrid, where a mixture of online and on-site. We do know that more employees want to work in a remote and hybrid setting. There's a greater reliance on technology, and in line with that, we've reformulated our curriculum in light of new initiatives which have been presented by the government, the white paper being one of them. And as part of that, we've got a level 3 National Skills Fund, which is a range of qualifications at level 3. And some of those you'll be seeing shortly. So, we've got a couple of pathways, but before we actually go and explain that in greater detail, I just want to give you further context. We know that the digital sector has grown rapidly. In light of that, we've got three distinct pathways. We've got our generalist IT, which I mentioned about the essential digital skills, but we've also got the exciting new programs of coding and cybersecurity. And if we think about cybersecurity, we know, as I said, we've moved to remote working, cloud-based file sharing, a rise in video calls, and all of that. Whilst it's great, it brings the potential of increased cyber attacks. And just by numbers, in the UK, we have 65,000 attempted cyber attacks on UK businesses, with around 4,500 being successful. So we see the need in running a pathway around cybersecurity. So, digital skills at Westminster Adult Education Service. We have a number of progression routes in place. We've got entitlement for those who meet the eligibility criteria. We're going to talk to you about some support that we also offer all our learners, and then we'll also discuss the entry requirements and how the enrollment process takes place. So as we move into the subject specific part of the presentation, I'm going to ask Raymond Hart to join us.
Good afternoon, Jasper. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you very much.
Great. Okay, so firstly, I'd like to thank our attendees for joining our digital careers event at WAES today. As Jasper's advised you, my name is Mr. Raymond Hart, and I'm the digital course leader at WAES. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the various education pathways that we have available at WAES starting from September. So the new level 2 and level 3 courses that we have available at WAES I'm going to discuss with you now. If we follow the slide that we can see on our main presentation, we'll go back one. The first course I'm going to talk about is our new Level 2 Principles in Cyber Security. So this course is a foundational course that is suitable for learners that are seeking to pursue further education and a career in the cyber security sector. This is a Level 2 course, and attendees on this course, they're assessed and graded by compiling a portfolio of learning evidence. This course will run from our Listen Grove Centre for the duration of term 1, with 2 sessions a week, a session on Monday and a session on Tuesday. This course will run for all of the term 1, and successful participants then have the option to move on to the Level 3 pathway from January 2022 onwards. To give you an overview of what's actually studied on the Level 2 Principles in Cybersecurity course, I can advise those interested that students, if we move on to the next slide, I can advise students that we'll be looking at the various terminology that's used in cybersecurity. So this will be a start place for our foundational knowledge. We will look at legal and ethical aspects of using systems and the legal and ethical issues surrounding sharing information with third parties and also with customers. We will identify what common threats come into play on our internet connected networks. We will study how to maintain cybersecurity, and also we will looking at working with others, third parties in the cybersecurity environment. Third party players would of course be government organizations, customer representatives, action fraud, legal representatives, and the police, and so forth. So this Level 2 course in the Principles of Cybersecurity, this is a foundational knowledge course, and on completing the assessment portfolio for this course, learners have the opportunity to move on to the the Level 3 pathway. So if we look now at the next slide, and this leads us on to the Level 3 cybersecurity practices. Okay, so whereas Level 2 focus more on foundational principles, the Level 3 course, students will study and learn more about organizational practices. Okay, so this course would run from January onwards through to the summer of 2022. And again, this course would run on a Monday and Tuesday sessions. Okay, it would run through up until mid-July. The course would run from our Listen Grove Centre. And the purpose of this qualification would be for learners to develop practical skills for a career in the cybersecurity sector. Okay, for this course, again, the method of assessment and grading would be learners compiling a portfolio of learning evidence that is evaluated and then sent off to the exam board for external moderation. Okay, so what specific modules or units will learners study on the Level 3 cybersecurity practices? If we look at the current slide in our presentation, we can see that we cover cybersecurity principles. We then start looking into the field of threat intelligence. So what systems are currently in use that represent threats to organizations running business systems? Students will look further at cybersecurity testing, at vulnerabilities, and also the controls deployed by organizations in order to limit the risk of threats, and any potential damage. Learners will learn about cybersecurity incident responses. So learners will learn what expectations there are of them whilst they're working in large organizations to identify threats, but also how to respond to those threats. And also we hold a focus on understanding the legislation and ethical conduct that surrounds employees whilst working in the cybersecurity sector. And finally, for this level 3 course, we also look at the professional skills and behaviors that are expected of professional employees in this cybersecurity domain. So I'll be available for questions if any attendees have any further questions at the end of this presentation in relation to our level 2 and our level 3 cyber security learning courses. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our software and programming digital skills pathways that we have available at WAES from this coming September. So if we look at the current slide, we can see that from September onwards, on a Wednesday and a Thursday, we will be running a 12 teaching week course on software and programming. This again, it is a foundational course for learners seeking to pursue further education and a career in the digital skills sector. So this course is more as a focus on software development and learning coding, okay? For this course, learners compile a portfolio of learning evidence, which is submitted for grading. So what specific modules are we going to look at in this level 2 course? If we move on to our next slide, we can see that learners will learn about digital skills career progressions. And what this is, this particular module, it's a skills module that allows learners to develop a sense of what areas of or specialisms would be most suitable for them to follow in order to develop a digital career in their preferred field. So you may prefer to go down the field of web development and web applications. You may be more interested in coding and want a career in programming. It could be that you're more interested in being a business analyst or looking at project management. So this unit, digital skills career progression, will inform learners about what skills are needed to further their particular career pathway. We will also study website design and development. So this level 2 course, it will incorporate study of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And also learners will also study search engine optimization and use of Google Analytics. We will also look at issues around domain usage, domain hosting, and also any legal issues that are involved in the web development and web design pathway. The final module that we'll cover on this course is programming in Python. The reason we choose Python is that it's a very accessible programming language for level 2 courses. It's less syntax heavy, and programming beginners in programming, they find this language most suitable for grasping programming concepts, and it's a useful language to learn, and it can inform further learning in different programming languages at a later point. Also, so we'll follow for level 2, we'll follow Python programming, and this will take us up until the end of December. Okay, so again, once students have passed the level 2 course in software development, from January onwards, we have our level 3 certificate in software development. This particular course becomes available from mid-January, and after 23 teaching weeks, this runs through till the mid-July of 2022. And this course will again run from our Lisson Grove Centre, and sessions run on Wednesdays and Thursdays of the days of the week. For terms 2, this will be the spring term, and term 3, which is the summer term. So this particular qualification, a level 3 course, it's to inform learners that are seeking to pursue further education and a career in digital skills. So hopefully by level 3, you'll be getting a sense of which particular pathway in software development you enjoy most, and you're beginning to get a sense of what type of employment position you might think would be most suitable for you after your educational study of digital skills. And for this level 3 course, again, students will be assessed via a portfolio of evidence that is compiled over the duration of the course. And lastly, we'll move on to the particular modules that are covered on this level 3 certificate in software development. So for this level 3 course, all students will follow a project management module. So this is very useful because students will need to understand how to go about implementing the projects that they study. So we learn about the different phases of the project development life cycle, the different documentation and standards that are required for development projects. And also students learn about how to how they will learn to interact with different players in the software development industry. For this course, we will follow a JavaScript programming module, and also we will follow a maths for computing. So what's studied in this module, it has a focus on learning about different maths, practical maths skills that are useful in programming. So we'll learn about different binaries, different numbering systems such as binary, hexadecimal systems, and learning about mathematical notations that are suitable, that help you become a skilled programmer. We follow a project implementation module, and in this module we learn about the different ways and the different techniques and methods that are used when we go to implement a software product that we've developed. Finally, we follow a software testing module where we learn about how to robustly test any software that we develop, and also the techniques and methods used to implement that software and test the implementation of that software onto existing system platforms. Okay, so that's the level 2, level 3 pathways that we have available from September onwards. So I'd like attendees to have a good look at those pathways, and you can begin to think which course would be most suitable for you. So if any of you have any questions to raise about these different modules, I'll be online to take any questions that you have towards the end of this presentation. So thank you for listening to the content we've discussed, and we'll hand back to Jaspal now for the rest of this presentation.
Thank you very much, Raymond. And at this point, I'd like to move us on to 2 new pathways which we've just completed, and these are employment driven courses. The first of which is working with Amazon Web Services, that's AWS, And this is an exciting program, and it's a full-time course, a classroom-based, that is a training program to develop careers in cloud technologies. As part of this program, we work closely with potential employers, and there's various touch points throughout the 12-week boot camp. So employers firsthand get to meet learners, and learners get to meet employers, and different employers within different settings begin that relationship and begin to identify individuals who are interested in that particular industry or sector. The course is taught primarily through scenario-based learning, hands-on activities, courseworks, and learners will get technical skills and soft skills needed to enter entry-level cloud roles. So, I'm delighted to be able to share that with everyone here. We're going to have more information about that on our website. And there is a link which I'm going to post in the chat, which is from Amazon, just for anyone who wants further information on that. In addition to the Amazon course, we've got a level 5 digital diploma in web application. That's starting from January 2022. And that's again another fast track program to get into web development. It's primarily online. And again, it has an employer arm linked to the provision. And again, more information will be on our website once we have got everything tied up in terms of course information. So at this particular moment, I'd like to hand over to Annette Robson, who's our head of learner development. And Annette's going to talk to you about some of the support aspects that Westminster Adult Education Service has for our learners. So
Yeah, thank you, Jaspel, and thank you, Raymond. I don't think I can beat that wonderful presentation and those amazing courses. I was struggling to keep up. So yeah, no, some really good courses coming up. So what I'd like to talk through to complement Raymond and Jaspel is about the support that's available for you at Westminster Adult Education Service for you as a learner. So yeah, my name's Annette and I am Head of Learner Development. So I really work across the service, and my role is to support learners in their journey. So Charlotte, the first slide, please. So learning support at WAES. Well, learning support is just as it says. It is support with your learning, and support with your learning, while you're, with us at WAES. So whether that's online or whether that's face to face. So what do we do? Well, we host workshops across our centres. We do assessments to check, whether you're dyslexic, and we do initial consultations and screening so that actually we can assess what the best support is to put in place for you. We have specialist equipment which could assist you in your learning. And we do a lot of, support with confidence building in our, learning resource centres and online. And then we give general advice linked to your learning. And if you'd like to meet up with one of our advisors, the email address is learningsupport@waes.ac.uk. And again, drop, Wendy and her team an email, or hang back and speak to Raymond or one of the advisors later on this evening. Or again, it can be discussed at your interview. The next slide talks about well-being and safeguarding, and one that's actually quite dear to myself and Jaspel's heart, actually, as two lead safeguarding officers at WAES. So what do we do in welfare and safeguarding? Well, actually, we give emotional and well-being advice and support. And as officers, we work across WAES. We give confidential advice and guidance, and that can be over the phone, in person, or over Microsoft Teams. We signpost to internal, sort of departments and external support. So I can sort of say we deal with mind, we deal with, external wellbeing organisations, both in Westminster and beyond. And what we also do is monitoring and keeping in touch. So what I can say there is through our first and second pandemic, we were phoning learners daily. We were phoning learners and keeping in touch over Christmas and New Year. So I can say that the safeguarding team are committed to making sure that all of our learners are supported and achieve on their programme. And I'd like to say that from the cases of safeguarding that we've managed this year, 100% of our learners have achieved. And I'm proud to say that. We also have a dedicated email address, which is safeguarding@waes.ac.uk. And I'm also, I will put my email address in the chat if any of you wanted to drop me an email. That's the wellbeing and safeguarding. The next one is financial support at WAES, and we give support. Now, it is means tested. I can't sort of wave a magic wand and support everybody, but we've supported in excess of 400 learners this year with help with travel, help with equipment, help with nursery and childcare. And, for some learners, which, we have helped with ICT and the loan of a laptop. But what I would be guessing is if you're doing these high profile courses that you've probably got a suitable IT in place. But yes, it is means tested. So if individuals are on means tested benefits or earn less than 24,000, then we can give some help and support through an application process for help with a nursery, help with travel, or any other equipment that you may need on your course. And the next slide is progression and development at WAES. For this last academic year, we've actually done a huge amount on careers and employability. We have supported in excess of 1,200 learners, and we have linked up with numerous, HE establishments. We've got a number of, quite a lot of learners going through UCAS this year and onto university. And, just to sort of put it into a bit of perspective, every course has what we call entitlements. So when I was hearing Raymond and Jaspel talking about a level 2, a level 3, and so on and so forth, every level has an entitlement. And then we have progression weeks. And the progression weeks are built across the academic year. And we have specialist enrichment activities. We do have a HE event we host in October, and we have specific events linked with HE across the year. Every single one of our WAES learners can have help and support with CVs or job applications, and on a daily basis, either the National Careers Service or Salma, our careers coordinator, links up with learners and helps them with applying for jobs, whether it's virtual interviews, etc., or whether it's face to face. Yes, we have dedicated careers advisors, and we have, individual coaching, support with learning, and we do a lot on confidence building if individuals have been out of work for a while, and building their confidence to apply for jobs or to get to access interviews online, etc. And finally, we embrace the learner voice at WAES. We've had 111 group representatives this year who have met across the year. And our principal Arinola meets with our reps and gets key feedback from them, and we have a really good "you said" and "we did." And in addition to that, I'll pick on Jaspel again because he's in front of me. Jaspel is in charge of quite a big academic area, and Jaspel meets with his reps each term and literally any concerns raised and embraces the positive feedback. So in addition to that, we have focus groups on important subjects like the greener and cleaner agenda. And in September, we'll be hosting specific focus groups, and we're going to have a bigger learner voice focus, as we will have a WAES council dealing with key learner related issues. And in addition to this, as a WAES learner, you will be able to access the totem I suppose totem card, which is really an NUS card. So you'll be able to have reductions in key organizations like Boots, Co-op, and so on and so forth, and places like pizza eateries and clothes shops. So that's quite a lot, really, and I think that leads me to the end of my presentation. Before I leave and hand back over to Jaspel or Raymond, does anyone have any questions for me? Because I won't be staying for the whole of the event. I will just leave my email address in the chat. Any questions? Miriam.
Is there an age?
Yeah, hello?
Hello. Is there an age restriction on the courses when people can start? Do they have to be over a certain age?
Yes, we don't have anybody here who is under 18.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, it's been lovely meeting you all, even though I can't see you, and I do hope I'll be seeing you in person in September. So thanks for that, Jaspel and
Thank you.
Raymond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annette, and that was a wonderful presentation on the support provided by WAES Financial Learning and Welfare, and a team. I must say the word that springs to mind is it's effective support, and it's about empowering and enabling our learners. So thanks again, Annette. So at this point, I'd like to just remind everyone that we have
Miriam's got her hand up, Jazz.
Miriam, is that another question? Sorry.
No, I think we've answered Miriam's question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll take it down. Sorry.
Thanks,
Okay.
Miriam. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks again. Yeah, so we have learner experience officers who will be available at the end of today's session to for any additional questions. But at this point, I'd like to introduce the question and answer session. So please do put your hand up or do pop a question in the chat facility, and we'll get on to that. I had a question actually emailed to me by a participant who couldn't join us today, and what the question was is that they saw the level 2 and level 3 courses, but they felt they didn't have the underpinning skills necessary at this moment, and it may be a question that people are thinking about, but we do have essential digital skills qualifications that are also within the digital skills department, and they are qualifications primarily at improving the digital literacy of participants in order to build those skills needed to progress on to level 2 qualifications. So that was something which I wanted to share because I don't want anyone to think that it's not about the stepping stones, which often are the basis of these more advanced qualifications. So, right, any hands up? I'm just going to check the chat.
No hands up, Jaspel.
Okay, Raymond, did you want to add anything more there?
No, it's just I was going to emphasize, go over any queries that any students had. What I'd say is the information about our courses are they're structured via nationally recognized course providers, the Gateway Qualification, and also the Northern Council of Further Education. So if anyone does have any questions, I can talk you through the specifics about these courses as and when any questions arise.
Yes, I'd just like to add as well, thank you everyone for signing up, and I will be sending out a follow-up email in the next few days with all of the contact details of our tutors and a phone number you can contact the LEOs on. So if you don't have a question right now, but something comes to mind over the next few days, that's no problem at all.
Yeah, I was going to advise that if students were looking for further background reading materials, I could post links into the chat for hyperlinks to the Gateway Foundation courses that we're going to follow, and also the NCFE courses that we're going to follow. So I'll make those hyperlinks available to attendees, and they can complete any background reading on the courses that we'll be offering from September. If at that time you do have any questions available, you could also feel free to email me and I will answer these questions as they arise. Okay.
Thank you very much, Raymond, and thanks, Charlotte. Just a reminder to everyone on the call today, you can begin the enrollment process now. We do have learner experience officers on the call, and marketing also have your information in terms of your contact details if today is not suitable. We really hope you join us. We hope that you take time and look at the qualifications that are on our website. It's an exciting time for digital skills. As we mentioned from the outset, it's a growth area directly linked to employment. We've got employers that we're working with and exciting, groundbreaking courses that aren't on offer in many places. So we're really proud to be part of a new initiative, and thank you for attending today.
Yeah, Jasper, I was going to say, would any attendees be curious about course fees for the level 2 courses? Because that might be something that comes up.
Yeah, so good point, and that's something which the learner experience officers will pick up with participants as they go through the enrollment process.
Okay, thank you.
Miriam?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are the course fees dependent on what your salary is or what your income is?
That's right, eligibility criteria applies. So when you go through the application process, that will be picked up by the learning experience officer.
Yeah.
Is the application online or face-to-face?
Online and face-to-face. So you apply through the website, and then you have the option of face-to-face or telephone interview.
So does the eligibility answer come online? Is it something you need to complete a form for, or does someone ask you a question?
Yeah, you'll go through the question and answer process.
Yeah.
With who? With a person or online?
With a person.
Okay.
If you want, Miriam, we do have some learning experience officers on hand now, so I could send someone your phone number and they could give you a ring and you could just go through that criteria and find out where your eligibility sits.
Okay.
Would you? Cool. I'll send your phone number over to Tony then, if that's okay.
All right, thanks.
No problem at all. If anyone else has questions they'd rather speak to someone about one-on-one, please just speak up or put a message in the chat, and I can also share your phone number with a member of our team.
Yeah, I'd just like to also emphasize, hi, this is Raymond, the course leader again. I'd just like to emphasize to attendees that we have selected these pathways because there is a nationally recognized huge skills shortage in these employability areas. So as many of you will be aware, many businesses, many organizations are moving their services onto digital platforms now, and there are a huge skills shortage in the cybersecurity sector and also in coding in web application development. So there are many vacancies available. There are many entry-level vacancies available from level 2, level 3 courses. You know, so in cybersecurity, there's many positions available for employees that would be going into careers in roles such as network support, network administrators in the public sector, and these are good entry pathways for learners. And also in the public sector, learners can gain jobs as information security officers. So there's a large range of, for the cybersecurity pathway, there's a large range of employability career positions. There are many jobs available, entry-level jobs for network support or systems administrators or information security officers. These are the types of positions that are available for the cybersecurity pathway. And then also for those that are going to choose to go down the pathway of software development, there's a whole plethora of careers available. Many different positions in web applications development, in games console development, in web app development, and then also in programming business applications, business software. These are all entry-level jobs that are available in these development environments. Once learners have got many years experience in their career field, they could go on and then work on as systems analysts, IT analysts, project managers, so that there is career progression once you've found a pathway into the IT industry. So that's plenty to think about. There are a variety of employability options open, and we've chosen our courses because we feel that these are two in-need pathways. So thanks again. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise them with us.
Thank you, Raymond. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you.
Oh, we got a hand up, GBHJ. Oh, 2 hands up, great. So first over to GBHJ.
I'm very confused. What level is this? I mean, I got a bachelor in computers. I worked professionally within IT for 25 years. And obviously, I stopped working in 2001. I mainly worked on mainframe. So my knowledge about, network technology and website, web design and so on is limited. So which one of your selection of courses would be good for me?
So the level 2 courses, they would map to what we'd call GCSE level, and the level
I'm sorry.
3.
I mean, I have a bachelor and I've been working for 25, so I'm not interested in coding. I've done it all. Yeah. So I'm sort of like, I don't know what is interesting for me. It's not obvious to me.
Yeah. So I think it'd be worth doing some background reading on the qualification overviews, and then you'll get a more in-depth sense of what's available on each pathway. I understand what you're saying, that you've already had a bachelor's degree in computing, so you've had
as coding, project manager, system analyst. I've done testing professionally. I've been through it all.
Sure. So you've got a high level of experience there. Yeah. Yes, I would
And I
suggest.
haven't worked for 20 years.
Yeah. So you're looking to update, modernize your skills, and then think about how you can take your previous knowledge forward into a new position. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think you should be looking at maybe the level 3 or the level 5 course, and then seeing if there's anything there that could build on what the knowledge that you already have, and if any of those pathways would present a suitable education or a learning option for you.
Thank you. I just, that was my feeling. I think it was just, I was very confused, because if we start talking about basic coding, I'm sort of like,
Yeah, you've already experienced. You've got many years' experience of coding. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so I think. Yeah,
that's fine. Thank you. You answered my question. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Tony, do you have your hand up?
No, sorry, just ignore that just now. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I think I saw Miriam's hand up and it's gone down.
We did have another hand, but I can't seem to see it now. Oh, have we
We
got
did have another hand, yeah.
Miriam?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there a table or a sheet that can actually show the equivalence of what level 2, 3, 4, 5 is equivalent to in the table of, say, GCSE, A-level, diploma, degree, something like an equivalent sheet?
Yes, say for example, just roughly, it's not an exact mapping, but level 2 courses, GCSEs usually map to late level 2. A levels and BTECs, they usually map to around a level 3. So we haven't actually got a table because it's never actually a direct mapping. Yeah, but think of it in that way for level 2 and level 3.
I think the easiest way, if I remember it, level 2 is equivalent to 5 GCSEs, and the level 3 is equivalent to 2 A levels.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay. And then the level 4 and 5, would that be degree level?
Yeah, that will be, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it'll be 5 or 6. That will be a degree level.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Miriam. Anyone else got any more questions? I've got one hand, but I think you've already spoken. GBHJ, I think you've already asked a question.
You already answered, so thank you.
All right, okay. Then in that case, there's no more questions. Jaspel, I think.
Thank you. Thanks for those questions, and thanks Raymond, Annette, Charlotte, and everyone else. Good evening.